Y'all got something to say? No, stay on me so they know. Stay on me so they know I'm not looking. Talk about all I do is shoot on spike rims. Talk about all I do is shoot on a turbine. They crazy. They crazy. This is why I gotta start showing y'all the real. This is what I do. This is what I do. This is what I do.
That's what I do. Family, you heard the man. If this your first time rocking with us, we are a broadcast that is being brought to you by TWID. TWID stands for That's What I Do. Let me put my banner up. You can go get the merch. Feel free to go get the merch at www.twidware.com. Don't hesitate. Where's my banner at? Man, this thing is tripping. And y'all give me a minute. I don't. Oh, there we go. Okay. Don't forget to go like, share, and subscribe. We're at 35, a little over 3,500 subscribers, family. We're trying to get up to 5,000, then so on and so forth. Today, I'm going to be reacting to a video, and I've done a video on her before, the so-called Dr. Bryant. I just think it's telling that she's getting so much traction, considering her resume. Not academically, I'm talking her resume personally. So without further ado, let's dive right into it.
Now moving on, speaking of therapy, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, you know, she's been up here. She's a friend to the room. She sat down with her show that she has on Fox Soul. And it's called Truth Talks on Fox Soul. She's a part of that cast. And on that show, she's a life expert. So they talk about different people's lives and different things that are going on.
Now, I want to stop and I want us to think about something really, really for a minute. Like, we're living in a world where people aren't even thinking. They're not even saying. And let's replay what she just said about the young lady.
Into the room. She sat down with her show that she has on Fox Soul. And it's called Truth Talks on Fox Soul. She's a part of that cast. And on that show, she's a life expert. So they talk about...
Okay, family, that's the part I wanted y'all to really dive in and zoom into, that part. She's a life coach. Now, me personally, I want to know, how is she a life coach? How, like, and I try to stay in my lane. Like my brother LeVar Ball said, stay in your lane. I would never call myself a life coach if I didn't, one, have any kids, two, have never been married. Because the thing about a family, which consists of wife and kids, or the inverse, husband and kids, it brings about a certain wisdom that teaches you everything that you need to know about life, about the stressors of life. It doesn't get any more stressful than being married. It doesn't get any more stressful than having kids, because you're having to love something other than yourself. You're having to care for something other than yourself. You're having to look out for something other than yourself, which in this case would be other human beings. But somehow she's being titled as a life coach. I would go as far as to say, concerning this woman, her life has yet to really begin. But I digress. Let's carry on.
Different people's lives and different things that are going on. And they got into the conversation of Neyo. And you know, Neyo now lives a relationship where he's able to be with multiple women at one time. They started discussing that. Let's take a listen.
What is Neyo to you, Dr. B?
He's a womanizer. He cheated on his wife, and that's why she left him. He didn't cheat once. He cheated over and over again. He's a womanizer. He's gaslighting himself and that wife to make it seem like he wants polyamorous when you never wanted polyamorous from the beginning. You wanted to be married, but didn't have the discipline to do it, and your wife left you because she didn't tolerate that. Baby. And so she pivoted from you, and now you're going, and he's making these other women.
Now, family. She could, everything she's saying, she could be right about it. She could be. I'm not going to say she's wrong. I'm not going to say she's right. I'm going to say she could be right and she could be wrong. But what I want to focus on is you got to sweep around your own front door. If you're a life coach, but you've never been, she said she's been engaged for 10 years. She either said she was, I know she was in a relationship for 10 years. Yeah, she was in a relationship for 10 years. And she turned down, I think, 3 or 4 proposals to be married. So here is a 40-year-old woman who's never been married, has never had any kids, but somehow she's going to different platforms, critiquing, judging men and women. More than likely, you know what I'm saying, more likely than not, is usually men who she's critiquing about their personal lifestyles as it pertains to the women that they deal with. But she's never been married. She's never birthed a child. Let's play the tape.
Pay for the heartbreak that he caused to himself by saying, I want to be polyamorous. That's BS. You want to be married. You don't have the discipline. You don't have the tools to do it. So now you want to make sure.
Okay, well, okay, she might be right. She could be completely right in the breakdown of the analysis of this man, especially if you're coming just from an analysis of a spectator and a you know what I'm saying, somebody who's, you know, just on the outside looking in. She could be right. But ma'am, he tried it. He at least tried to get married. Not tried, he did get married. That's more than we can say for you. You've never been married. You've never had kids. But yet and still you feel as though you've got the authenticity to be considered and labeled a life coach. How, ma'am? We want to, my subscribers, the few that I have, but I'm gaining, we want to know how you figure that it's okay.
You put out into the world, look at me, I want to be polyamorous because I cheated. No, you failed in your marriage. You're effed up, and that's the problem. Now you need to heal from that and not have these self-project your pain onto these women.
Now she's telling him to heal. Now he needs to heal because he failed at marriage. He failed at something that 50% of Americans have failed at, but 50% of Americans at least tried it. You, ma'am, you've never tried it. And you're telling him that he needs healing because he failed at something that he took a shot at. Well, shouldn't the inverse of that be you need to be healed and you need to deal with whatever trauma you have because you never even tried it? Let's play the tape.
About your messed up decision making. Period.
Okay.
Okay. So that's about it, family. And at the end of it, you heard her say, you're messed up decision making. How did he mess up? He was a man. He got married. You know, the funny thing is, let me say this and I'm gonna close it out. It just hit me. The funny thing is, he messed up with his bad decision making. That's what she's saying. Life coach, Dr. Joy Bryant. But she wouldn't dare say, I haven't heard her say it, and most women by and large aren't saying that Tia Mowry messed up when she came out publicly saying, I graduated, I believe that marriage you just something you graduate from. Now, if she's gonna go in on this brother, since she's, you know, bipartisan, if she's gonna go in on this brother for his actions in calling what he's doing a failure, you go on over there to the female aisle and discuss your peer, Tia Mowry, because I did a show on her, and go in on her as emphatically as you're doing this brother Neyo. Just be fair about it. Since you're a life coach, life, that means a whole coach. don't spare no feelings for the man, and please don't spare no feelings for the women, because it takes two to tango. Family, you've been rocking with TWID10, but that's what I do. Once again, another short broadcast. We're going to keep it short. Don't forget, subscribe, share, like, and go buy some merch. www.twidwear.com. Peace.